Welcome to The Explainer. This week, things are getting wild. We're talking about a full-on battle for your face with new mixed reality headsets, how AI is about to completely transform your browser, and yeah, we need to discuss why your next PC upgrade is probably going to cost you a whole lot more.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to kick things off with the next big interface battle. Then we'll pull back to see how the whole tech world is shifting. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of the hardware arms race, see how all this stuff actually hits your wallet, and then, we'll finish up with some cool retro and style stuff.
All right, so let's jump right in. We're starting with how we actually, use our tech. And this week there were some massive moves on two fronts: the hardware we're looking through and the software that's starting to look for us.
And first up, it's official. Samsung is throwing its hat in the mixed reality ring. After a year of rumors and hype, they finally dropped their new headset. And this thing is running on Android XR, which is the special OS they cooked up with Google specifically to go head-to-head with Apple.
And here's where things get really interesting. This is a direct shot at the Apple Vision Pro. Look at that price difference. Samsung's coming in at $1,800. That's almost half the price of Apple's headset. It's a super aggressive move, right? They're clearly going for the mainstream. But the big question is, can you really get a similar experience for that much less money?
But you gotta ask, is this even the right way to go? These big, bulky headsets that just block out the world? The market might be saying no. Because sales for things like the Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses, they're going through the roof. It kind of feels like people want tech that adds to their world, not covers it up.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit. Let's move from our eyes to our cursors. OpenAI just launched a beta for a browser they're calling Atlas. And listen, this is a potential game changer. Its whole purpose is to redefine what a browser is. We're not just talking about a window you use to search for stuff. No, this is designed to be an AI agent that actually does things for you. So just look at how this works. You just talk to it, give it a command, then the AI does all the boring stuff, the searching, the clicking around, and then it actually buys the thing for you. It's not a search engine anymore, it's like a personal butler for the internet. The potential here is absolutely insane, right? But it also brings up some pretty massive questions about, security and who's really in control.
So all this new stuff, these new interfaces, they're all built on top of the digital foundations we've had for decades. But what happens when those foundations start to crack or get rebuilt entirely? Let's take a look at how the bedrock of our tech world is being shaken up, both by brand new rules and some really old, stubborn problems.
Okay, this is a huge deal. Seriously, Huawei just rolled out its own computing standard called UBIOS. So what? Well, it's designed to completely replace UEFI, which is the system that basically every single PC in the world uses to start up. This isn't just some new app. This is them building their own separate digital world, one that's totally independent from the standards the rest of us use. So, at the same time China's building this whole new foundation, the one we all use every day just showed a massive crack. I don't know if you noticed it last week, but if you tried to go to Reddit or Spotify or a bunch of other big sites, they were just gone. Poof. Vanished. For a couple of hours, they were completely unreachable. So what the heck happened? The culprit was something called DNS, the Domain Name System. The easiest way to think about it is like the internet's phone book. You type in a name like google.com, and the DNS looks up the actual phone number, the IP address, so your computer knows where to go.
So what went down was a bad software update basically ripped a bunch of pages right out of that phone book. The websites were still there, but their phone numbers were missing. For 2 straight hours, the internet just couldn't find them. It's kind of scary. It really shows you how fragile the whole system can be.
All right, let's talk about the engine room. Because all this stuff, the VR headsets, the AI browsers, the entire internet, it all runs on hardware. And that race to make things faster, bigger, and more powerful, it is absolutely heating up. Okay, check this out. We've got leaks about Intel's next-gen laptop chips called Panther Lake. And the big number everyone's talking about, a supposed 30% jump in their built-in graphics power. Now, a 30% boost is a massive leap. It means Intel could finally give AMD a run for its money in handheld gaming, on things like the Steam Deck. Imagine playing high-end games on a super thin laptop with no separate graphics card. That's what we're talking about here. And then, for the super serious gamers out there, Asus just dropped a monitor that is just bonkers. It has a 720 Hz refresh rate. 720. To put that into perspective, a really good gaming monitor today is maybe 240 Hz. This thing is drawing a new picture on the screen 720 times every single second. For pro gamers, where 1 millisecond makes all the difference, that is a legitimate competitive edge.
And yeah, we all love our super fast SSDs, but don't count out the old spinning hard drive just yet. It is far from dead. When you're talking about massive data centers, the kind that power the cloud and train AI, it's all about one thing: capacity. Toshiba is now planning a 40 terabyte drive, one drive, and their competitors are aiming for even more. It just goes to show, for storing massive amounts of data, the spinning platter is still king.
But you know, this constant chase for more and more powerful tech, it has real-world consequences. It's not just numbers on a spec sheet. We're talking about everything from serious quality issues to supply and demand games that are going to hit you right in the wallet. I mean, just look at Tesla. They are dealing with a wave of pretty serious quality control problems right now. On top of all the issues they've had with the Cybertruck, they've now had to recall over 12,000 Model 3s and Ys because of a battery issue. And this one's bad. It can make the car just lose all power and shut down while you're driving. At the same time, the AI boom is creating a huge shockwave in the parts market. Get this, AI companies with OpenAI at the front of the line have apparently bought up 40% of the entire world's supply of NAND storage. And that's the stuff that goes into the SSD in your computer, your phone, everything. So, what's that mean for the rest of us? Well, it's pretty simple supply and demand, right? They're buying up the supply, so the price for us is going to go up a lot. We're looking at RAM prices potentially jumping 30%, and SSD is going up around 17%, probably by the end of the year. So, let me just say it plainly. If you're thinking about upgrading your PC, buy the RAM and SSD, like right now. All right, enough of the doom and gloom pricing stuff. To wrap things up, let's talk about something a little more fun: style. We're going to check out how tech is getting both super bold and super nostalgic.
You know Razer, right? The PC gaming company? Well, they just dropped a whole new collection called Phantasm Green. And it is green. Like super bright, in-your-face, green screen green. And you can get everything in it: mice, keyboards, headsets, controllers. It's definitely a choice, and it will make for a very bold setup.
And talk about a blast from the past, the Intellivision, the classic console from the 70s, is back. It's been re-released as one of those modern plug-and-play things. For $150, you get this perfect little replica of the original console. You just plug it into your TV, and it's loaded with like 30 or 40 of the classic games. How cool is that? And that's our roundup for the week. We've seen a future where your browser does your shopping for you, where your monitor is literally faster than your brain can process, and where the games we grew up with are back. So it really makes you think, right? Of all these different futures coming at us, which one are you most excited about? Thanks for joining me.